All right. So, what's up, guys? It's Dakanoth here, and we have a target. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, man, but once in a while, we get some crazy ass ideas. And Grimdor, it's like probably like 12 o'clock at night, right? And he's just like, hey, dude, we're going to just solo this guy out. I'm like, what do you mean? What's the target? What's the size? Oh, he's like 17 million troops. I'm like, okay. So, of course, naturally, I'm sitting here. Okay, I'm like, I don't know how much might I'm going to drop. I don't know what I'm going to go into this with, but here we are. Okay, here this guy is. We're just going to go ahead and go to town, man. I'm in these talents. I'm in this kind of gear. Now, don't get me wrong. All right, this game has changed a lot. And there's one thing I complain about more often than not. It's the fact that I don't have good gear anymore. It was good at one time. It ain't it anymore. Like, I wish I had champion gear. I do. I really do. But watch this, okay? We're going to pop 50%. You're going to put 150,000 T4, the rest T2, without your lead, and you got pack 5 fams. Watch this go to town on this guy. And don't get me wrong, you think I'm good. Crimdor has the better account here, okay? He's popping like champion and all the good pieces. Plus Astrolite, alright? So this guy's screwed. If he doesn't come back on, he is absolutely screwed. And that's about what you expect these days. It's like you're basically gonna find yourself in a situation where you know you're gonna do some dicey stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love rally trapping. I love going around and soloing people. But once in a while, I get an opportunity to do this at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it, dude. So, naturally, I lost some T2 there. It's like 150K. I get back on my T4s. I'm just losing T2 here, alright? And without sending your lead, you have no fear of losses here. So you just basically rinse, repeat this process until this guy's completely zeroed out. I mean, that's really about all you're doing. Now, obviously, we tested his front line, and because he doesn't have he's not anti-scouted, it's really straightforward. You just basically fill it, put your T2 in, smack them, rinse, repeat. And until that front line's gone, you just basically keep hitting them over and over and over until eventually he's zeroed. And the thing is it's not like he's going to get any alerts other than the ones that he should be getting on his phone, right? This is why it works as well as it does. It's because basically, not his entire guild probably doesn't know. I mean, they're not getting alerts. It's not like they're getting a rally report. And this is the reason why this works so well. It's like, yes, no one in your guild knows. So you can just rinse repeat. And the guy doesn't have a clue. Now, of course, 17 million troops. This is a rally trap comp that we're hitting here. This guy could potentially eat troops. Now, the only biggest mistake you're going to see here, all right, and I really don't know why people still have T1s, but this guy's got T1s. I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can see having T1 ballistas. I can see that. But P1 of anything other than that, like, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. I don't know what you're thinking. But, naturally, of course, we always find somebody like this, and it's a struggle, it really is. But now, getting into this a little bit further, it's like, all right, don't get me wrong. You can see he's got 14 mil at this point. He's got 2 mil across. He's only got that much for buffer. The guy doesn't have any buffer. He's got T5s, he's got T4, no buffer. It's like, oh my days. Oh my days. This guy's screwed. I mean, there's just not a doubt in my mind. This guy's absolutely screwed, Now, of course, I could talk to you about smacking this guy for the next, 15 minutes, right? But what I'd rather do is talk to you guys about what I've got on my plans for the channel. And a little bit more on some things that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. Okay? Now, you might have noticed I haven't been uploading a stupid amount for rally trapping. And the reasoning behind that is because it's just like where a lot of channels, they can produce content on a regular basis. I am trying my best to think of ways to produce content right now because it's like, okay, unless I go out of my way, get zeroed, if not get, a couple of hits in, it's pretty hard to upload a rally trap every single day, let alone every week. So I've been playing a game called Whiteout Survival. Now, for those of you who don't know what that game is, it's kind of a relatively new game that came out like probably within the early spring. And there's some similarities between it and this game. There's not a whole lot different outside of the fact that it's just the aesthetic is different. That said, I know why some people might contest that idea, and that's totally fine. But I could go at length about why I play Lords Mobile and have been for several years. But I'm kind of like sitting back thinking, like, if you guys are interested in different games, I'd really love to hear what you guys have been playing and what mobile games in particular you're interested in. Because, like, here lately, I've been like, I don't get me wrong, it's not that I hate Lords Mobile by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, after a certain point, you get so used to doing rally traps and stuff like that. You start doing rallies all the time, and you start to go, I wonder if I could do this in another game. I wonder if I could do this, and I wonder what this would do. I wonder what this is like, and so I can't help but like kind of explore what is out there, and more importantly, kind of get an idea of like, what more could we do, because at this point, I'm kind of relaxed. I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing. Don't get me wrong, we can do rally traps and all that jazz, and I'll keep uploading Lords Mobile videos like I always have. But I've been kind of exploring the idea of just, let's add some diversification in our choice of games here, because IGG's been getting a lot of love for a long time, and every time I turn around the corner, it always gives me a sour taste in my mouth, and then I go, And I'm sure some of you guys have been watching my channel for a number of years. You probably know what I'm talking about, but it's just like every other update, every other thing, it's just seems like every time I turn around the corner, it's like maybe, just maybe, I should do something different. And so that is ultimately where I'm going to be going with that, and now obviously, is anyone here to watch that properly? Now, but that's okay. That's why I figured I'd talk to you guys one-on-one, because I figure for the handful of you that have never watched me before, don't know what the hell I'm talking about, that's totally chill, man. Not a problem. But all I can say is I'm drinking a coffee, and here we are, watching Jose Ma 92 getting completely zeroed. And this guy is like screwed. There's no sugarcoating in this. Now, obviously, if you like my perspective, you can always watch Crimdor's perspective, where I was talking with Crimdor live. You're more than welcome to watch that too if you'd like. But I will point out that the best benefit that IGG has done for me in the last week is the Resource Ready pack. Okay? I was mildly broke on resources until they added that pack and made it a daily thing. The day they did that, I suddenly went from, I'm broke, to like, hey, I can finally hit things. It's just such a tiny detail, but boy, they were really thinking of me when they finally added that, and they're getting their money's worth for that. Which, hey, all the power to them, man. But I know for the handful of you out there that are probably thinking, like, why don't you just go to this? Why don't you do this? Like, well, I don't know, man. I really do kind of second guess myself. Like, why do I do anything on my main account anymore? I don't know. I just do. But I've built my accounts from scratch, and I'm one of the few people that can say that. There's a lot of people that probably haven't done that, and a lot of them little cut corners and shit like that. And that's on them, But one thing I will tell you is Lunite is expensive, and there's a very good reason why I am not using Lunite in these hits, okay? I can tell you that if you can afford it, all the power to you. It'll go a lot faster. But as you might imagine, I'm an old school, and I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. The way I know how to do this, which is, you just keep hitting, you heal, you rinse, repeat. Now, as you might imagine, I burned through pretty much all of my 15-minute speeds doing this, okay? I actually haven't burned through any of those healing speeds for literally over 7 years. It wasn't until this solos a bunch that I actually ran out for the first time. And I don't know, man. That's something that I haven't done in literally forever. And so I can't help but feel like, in some ways my main account has finally come to its end. It's been tapped out one too many times. I've literally beaten this thing to a pulp. I've been in some of the biggest guilds. I've been in some of the smallest guilds. I've been, I was with MLs back in the day, which is Mad Lions. If you don't know what that is, and now they're like sister cousin twins of whatever family or large guild that's running them at the time. And the one thing that even looking back now 2 or 3 years ago, it's like the game is definitely not the same game that it was 2 or 3 years ago. But it's not like it's changed for the worse. In some ways, it's like, okay, there are obvious improvements from the previous eras of the game. It's like it's obviously improved over the years, but one thing that still remains interesting to me is the fact that you can still solo somebody that's billion or so plus might. People think it's like, oh, these guys are untouchable. You can't screw up 17 mil. You can't solo that out. That's what you're wrong. You can absolutely solo somebody out. It's not but a thing, but a chicken wing, man. It's like you can do it. It's easy. It's easy peasy. And to add insult to injury, you'd think, oh, you just lost like a couple million T2, man. What are you gonna do? Like I can rebuild the 8 mil within, a couple of hair clicks of a smut. It's such a painless process to do. So it's like as long as you retain the T4s, you're really not losing anything, if anything. It's like it's one of those things that looking at this guy's kill count, you're even thinking, well, hell, surely his kill count's got to be going up too. It's like not really. You're gaining T2 kills in exchange for your T4s, your T5s, all those wonderful, beautiful troops that you've built that took you hours and money, probably, or time at the very minimum. And it's like you can't help but feel for the guy. I'm sure the guy's going to wake up. He's probably going to regret his life's decisions that day for not shielding. But it's like that's this game these days. It's like if you don't shield, I don't care how big you are, right? You just have to kind of go into it knowing full damn well that you might just wake up to being completely zipped. It's like it just happens. But I will say that as somebody that has been zeroed one too many times, you will mentally really, I honest to God think anybody that gets zeroed this way, it is like the most mind-numbingly annoying thing to wake up to, and worse, even makes you kind of regret your life's decisions. Like you start to go, maybe I should play a different game. Maybe I should do something else in life. This game sucks. And that is honestly, I think, the most genuine reaction that anyone could possibly have playing this game. It's like you play a game like Lords Mobile, right? And don't get me wrong, I've played Rise of Kingdoms, I've played Eveny, I've played, oh hell, I even play, obviously now I'm playing Whiteout Survival on the side a little bit. I played Lost Crusade. I will say that for those of you that are wondering, yeah, there are various different flavors, right, of different types of games that are out there on the mobile market. But here's my 2 cents on them, right? So Call of Dragons, Rise of Kingdoms, Warpath, they're all flavors of what I would describe as like you basically get to move your army, squad, whatever, instead of having it a point and click like it is in Lords Mobile. If that's more your thing, like I totally get it if it is, but honestly, not a fan. I played Rise of Kingdoms and I've played Call of Dragons a little bit, and it's like it's just not really my thing, And the thing about like War and Order or Lord of the Rings Online, or I think like some of them, some of the games that are like lesser known or like Nation of Darkness, obviously Mafia City. There's like a handful of other games, but I don't know about you guys personally. I just find them all that'd be a little too trashy for me. Like I just don't like the style to them. I don't care for the way that they handle game mechanics and stuff like that. So I've kind of stayed clear away from those games, but looking back, I don't know. It's like I've played Lost Crusade and I've played Dislight and I've played, like those games, and they're okay. Don't get me wrong. Like there's certainly an appeal to them. It's part of the fan base for those games are just so tiny, though, and I think part of the reason why, like even some of the major mobile games that I've played, it's like part of the problem half the time is, it's like okay, if it doesn't have a super pay to win economy in it, right? Which oftentimes turns off a lot of free-to-play players to begin with. And really, you can't blame them, right? But when you see reports like that, where you lose 1.1 million T4 in a single solo, like, I don't know, man. The game's definitely riddled with this everywhere you look, and it's like, I can't help but feel bad in some ways. You know, because it's like you get to used to playing these games for years on end, and now looking back on it, it's just like a whole different experience. You know, like in some ways, I can't really see playing a different type of game. You know, and maybe that's just me, but I mean, personally, it's just looking at how the state of games are right now in mobile gaming. I haven't really seen a whole lot out there in the strategy genre that's really changed all that much. But I don't know. Maybe somebody has, and maybe there's more there out there that I don't know about. You know, I'm all ears. Like I honestly, I am all ears. I mean, I've been playing mobile games for a while, but obviously I've got my PC. I can play games on Steam and shit like that, and I play those all the time. Hearts of Iron, Stellaris, you know, you name it. Anything Paradox, more than likely I played it. Civilization, you name it. Like there is a laundry list of games that I've played. Call of Duty, you name it. That said, though, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.